please withdraw your support to the Chief Executive. Pag po nag-withdraw kayo ng suporta sa kanya, wala na siyang ibang magagawa kundi bababa sa pwesto niya. Kanya, meron kang Vice Presidente para pumalit sa Presidente para gumawa ng trabaho niya.
Well, coming from a very influential personality, the first thing you have to recognize is that he should be taken very seriously. You know, hindi naman puro ano ito, puro empty talks lang to. And precisely, I think he uttered this statement during a public rally in Tagum City. No, so we have to take that seriously. In other words, particularly that he was a former speaker of the lower house and a very prominent politician who has very strong and very wide influence on the people who would be listening to him. So we have to take that seriously. Now, as to whether it will rise to the level of sedition or rebellion or insurrection, then that's something perhaps we can talk about. Kung pag bigyan natin ng emphasis lang sa sinabi niya, it will not really be a rebellion or insurrection, an act of insurrection rebellion. That's only a statement of what he said, no? But if it is coupled with rising publicly and taking arms against the government or against the chief executive or the legislature, then that rises to the level of rebellion or insurrection as defined by Article 134 of the Revised Penal Code. If it is not coupled with rising publicly and taking arms against the government, then hindi pa rebellion yan, hindi pa insurrection. Perhaps that would be falling under another article in the Revised Penal Code, Article 138, inciting to rebellion or insurrection. Incitement is that you urge the people to take arms or to have open hostility against the government without in any way taking arms or being in open hostility against the government. So walang aksyon, but ini-incite lang niya. Mabigat po yan kasi lalo-lalo na, as I mentioned earlier, marami siyang mga taong sumusunod sa kanya. Representante siya ng kanyang distrito, and therefore a lot of people would be listening to him, and apparently the people were really actively listening to him, and therefore he would have a very strong influence on their future actions. Well, that's one of the exceptions to that. Hindi naman absolute ng freedom of expression. Laging sinasabi yan ng mga tao na nahahabla for sedition or insurrection or even rebellion. Kaya sinasabi nila that's a freedom of speech, but there are some very fundamental exceptions to the freedom of speech and expression. One of them is sedition, insurrection, libel, for example, which is still criminalized in our country, and other similar or analogous acts. They are beyond the protection of the right of expression and freedom of speech. Hindi po covered dyan, and in fact, we have explicit provisions in the Revised Penal Code penalizing those acts. Well, pwede niyang gawing defensa yan, and therefore we have to look at it from the comprehensive viewpoint of what exactly he meant. No, for example, if you relate that to his previous acts supporting secession of Mindanao from the country and other similar initiatives that he had been allegedly or reportedly a part of, then that would be a different picture altogether. So paghubog-hubogin po yan, Christian, pagkasama-samahin yan, at titingnan yan how to evaluate it. That's why even the PNP, the spokesperson said that hindi pa natin napag-aaralang mabuti yan, but we're still studying it, whether it will be an act that would be constitutive of incitement of rebellion or insurrection or actual rebellion or insurrection. Ang prison mayor is 6 years to 1 day to 12 years. And disqualification as an accessory penalty. It's a crime against public policy or public order ang chapter niyan sa revised penal code, and therefore the enforcement agencies can also file that, not necessarily anybody. DOJ, kagaya nga, pinag-aaralan daw ni Secretary Remulla ng kanyang opisina ito, at sila yung magkakaroon ng pagpasya kung ano ang gagawin nila rito sa sinabi ni Congressman Alvarez or former Speaker Alvarez. Isa pang dapat makita natin dito, sabi mo nga, siya ay abogado, and therefore, all lawyers are supposed to be observing and enforcing the law of the land and respecting the duly authorized and constituted powers and authority. And therefore, as a lawyer, he should also be ethically obliged to comply with that obligation. As lawyers and officers of the court, kami ay dapat naninindigan para enforce ang Constitution, the statutes of the land, at saka mga batas, no? Including all other executive orders and resolutions. And therefore, sa amin, kami obligado. We're obliged now to enforce and to comply with all these constitutional provisions as well as the laws. So pag hindi namin, if we did not comply with that obligation as officers of the court, then we would be answerable ethically. In fact, that's something perhaps the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, assuming they would want to file something, they can also institute complaint for disbarment along that line on this particular incitement or alleged incitement to sedition and insurrection. The process is that they can even file directly to the Supreme Court, and if the Supreme Court finds prima facie case along that line, then it might resolve the complaint for disbarment, or it can refer the matter to the IBP for the Commission on Discipline for the IBP to investigate. So, yan ang proseso. So, if the IBP finds the person complained of, then the IBP will make a recommendation which will be approved by the Board of Governors, and at the same time, pag merong question or issue, it can all be elevated to the Supreme Court proper. Motu proprio, pwede. At nakita nila na talagang nakasira sa image ng mga abogado yan, mga manananggol, and therefore they can motu proprio file the complaint. In fact, that is their duty to clean up their ranks, assuming that that statement is really a matter of insurrection or sedition. Dalawang bagay yan ang titingnan natin. Unang-una, I think there is a threat now or even a plan to refer the matter to the House of Ethics Committee. Okay, so internally they can investigate the alleged utterances of Congressman Alvarez, who is still a congressman of good standing right now. And another aspect would be meron tayong Article 137, if I'm not mistaken, disloyalty of public officers or employees to perform their legislative functions. So pwede rin natin sabihin na yung taong nagsabi noon ay pwede din ma-expose dito sa habla under Article 137.
So maraming paraan para papanagutin.
Maraming paraan yan. Kung talagang kung tututukan mo po yan, marami tayong mga batas na pwede nating dyan. Assuming again that that is something that can rise to the level of what had been alleged. Patagal po namin iniisip yan at a bag full of acts that pwede natin sabihin, kanyang mga utterances na pagmumura, the very strongly worded, colorful languages and invectives. Matagal po namin sinasabi yan at sakop po yan ng bagong code of professional responsibility and accountability ng mga abogado. Since wala na siyang immunity rather, pwede na siguro siyang iablan na rin ethically. So tingnan natin, medyo na hindi yata maganda mga sinasabi niya noon or even now, then perhaps we can address that right now. Now, ang question dito, Christian, who would have the courage to do that? Who would have the kind of disposition to do that? And sad to say, kasama na siguro ako doon, no? Marami nag-hesitate to do that because alam mo na, meron namang impluwensya yung tao at baka naman sila ma-expose sa danger at saka may practice din naman sila. Siyempre, hindi nila harapin yan, no? Kaya isipin natin mabuti. Kung palalampasin natin yan na Christian, then walang mangyayari sa atin. We are talking about the rule of law. We're talking about violation of specific provisions of the revised penal code, which are the provisions are still in effective right now. Now, if you're not going to enforce these provisions, which are criminal in nature, nasa sa atin na po yun. Ngayon, kung hindi mag-aaksyon ang mga kanyang kasamahan sa House of Representatives o sa Senate, then nasa sa kanila na po yun. Pero meron naman tayong armas, tayong mga citizens. Pwede naman tayong mag-initiate ng mga aksyon na ating pinag-usapan ngayon. Maraming provisions sa CPRA, sa aming Code of Ethics, talagang marami kaming pwedeng gamitin doon para paharapin natin ang dating Pangulo. Again, so, balik ako doon sa sinabi ko, sino bang hindi duwag para gawin yun? No? So ang dapat natin pag-isipan is we're talking about the rule of law and whether a certain person is above the law. May mga batas na umiiral at hindi natin ginagamit at hindi natin i-enforce. Kaya siguro ganito ang ating bansa. Napakaraming nangyayari dito na ang tao tumitingin na lang sa ibang direksyon at hindi sila gumagalaw. Kasi takot sila o sinasabi nila, wag na. Kasi wala namang mangyayari yan sa prosecutorial sa judicial system. So, wala silang magawa. At sila na lang yung nakatunganga para makita nila. And that is the problem with our system, the judicial and the prosecutorial system that we have. Kagaya nga, huwag na tayong lumayo. Si Trump nga nandiyon, meron siyang nahabla siya ng rape ng isang porn star. Bakit nakakarating yun sa kanilang justice system, sa kanilang courts? Ba't hindi mangyari sa atin yan dito? Meron nagnanakaw. Alam natin, corrupt na yung taong yun. Hindi nagbabayad ng huwes, ng taxes. Matagal na. Dapat execute na natin yun. Matagal na yun. Mga 20 years nang hindi na-execute. Ba't di natin na-execute? Kasi dapat binabayaran ng taxes ng bayan
Ito ba yung estate tax ng mga Marcos na hindi na binabayaran?
Naghihirap na yung bayan. Tumataas ang gasolina araw-araw. Hanggang ngayon, dapat makakatulong yun. Bakit hindi natin bayaran yun? Kahit konti naman lamang para si Juan de la Cruz ay kumain naman at magkaroon sa hapag na kainan. Ba't hindi natin ginagawa yun? Kasi takot tayo. Okay? Takot tayo. Takot tayong mga Pilipino. Kaya dapat hamunin natin ang sarili natin para tayo makaksyon. Ang burot dulo nitong nangyayaring ito political dynasties, di ba? Kaya naghabla kami sa petition ng Mandamus. Pero ibang usapan na naman yan. But right now, what we're talking about would be the rule of law, Christian. Anybody should not be above the law. Let us enforce the law. No? Kahit na masakit man lamang sa tao nating naakusa, may batas Ba't ba yung batas nandyan? Ba't hindi natin gamitin yan para i-hold accountable ang mga taong corrupt, mga taong committed some crimes, no? Kagaya ng pinag-usapan natin dito, di dapat may mag-initiate yan. Sino mag-initiate? Ang ating inaasahan ngayon would be our representatives probably. The sovereign people's choice. Anong nangyayari? Walang nangyayari. At kung ano-ano ang ating inaatupag at lihis sa ating kapakanan as a tao, as a law, as a state, lihis dyan. Hindi natin tinututukan ang dapat natin gawin. Maraming nag-analyze sa ating kultura, sa ating educational system. No? In fact, one author concluded that we are a damaged culture. Hindi natin tinitingnan kung anong dapat ng tama. Yung mga korupsyon sa iba, kagaya nito, narinig natin sa Vietnam, may involved dito sa widespread scam. Anong kanilang hinatol? Death. Siguro dapat si Presidente Marcos ngayon, gayahin niya yung kanyang ama. At kung may makita siyang drug seller or drug dealer, pabaril niya sa luneta. And that is the way of showing to the people that he means business. Hindi puro mga palliatives, hindi puro lip service. I think we have to keep the faith naman na Christian. No? Huwag naman tayo mawawalang bahala at pag-asa. Titingnan natin. Bata ka pa naman na Christian. No? So siguro makikita mo ang liwanag na ang aksyon ng ating mga maestrado at mga liderato ay iba naman. No? Siguro nasa educational system na rin yan, although unfortunately, yung educational system natin ay hawak ng isang tao na hindi rin naman impeccable ang kanyang and beyond reproach ang kanyang integrity and his way of governance. No? Pero ako, naniniwala ako, Christian, na meron pa rin pag-asa. Otherwise, wala na tayong mangyayari sa atin. Kaya nga na-petition for mandamus kami ng political dynasties kasi yan ang root, actually, ng ating evil. No? We're hoping that soon enough, we would get an order, hopefully giving due course, or kung ano man pinapa-comment nila ang siguro Office of the Solicitor General, at kami naman ay magre-reply doon, or pwede rin magtawag silang or argument. So we are still hoping that the Supreme Court will act on our petition for mandamus. That will give us another opportunity to file another pleading, which I cannot disclose right now. And perhaps we can actuate the Honorable Supreme Court to act on our petition. Opo, ginawa po yun kay Pengson at saka kay Gingo na cases. As I mentioned earlier sa ating interview, Christian, we have a different approach to it, and hopefully the Honorable Supreme Court can listen to us and evaluate it further.
Nagustuhan niyo ba ang ganitong pagtalakay? Mag-follow sa Informador FB page at mag-subscribe sa Informador YouTube channel. Ang Informador ay nilikha ng mga staff ni Atty. Ricky Tumutorgo, aka Insurrecto, upang lalong lumawak ang inaabot ng pagpapalaganap ng katotohanan at labanan ang fake news at kasinungalingan.